Hello, how you doing? How you been? What is up? It is your friendly neighborhood Rave saying hello, how you doing? How you been? What is up? Today we're gonna examine with a large magnifying glass the verisimilitude of the Hollywood machine when it comes to guitar playing. I don't know how to introduce these videos, man. But you're still watching, so I guess I'm doing something right. We got some movies to check out, and we're gonna see how accurately are the actors playing the guitar. Are they really playing? Have they been screwed over by the editor? Are they making us believe that they can play? Is the camera work doing a great job at obscuring the fact that their hands are not moving the right way? All this and more now. But before we get on with the show, I'd like to ask you to please kindly click the like button, subscribe down below. It helps out a lot, and I appreciate it. That smirk.
Here's a bit of a rattlesnake.
Para bailar la bamba, se necesita una poca de gracia pa' mi patria. Y arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, 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 bamba. Para bailar la bamba, yo necesito una boca de gracia pa' mi patria. Y arriba, y arriba.
That is, of course, a scene from the classic movie La Bamba, following the life of Richie Valens. Also, thank you to Roxanne for recommending that I review that movie. I totally forgot it existed for a minute there. And just like Roxanne did, if you guys have any movies that you want me to check out and review from a guitar player perspective, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you. What we saw in that scene was him playing that little bit of a rattlesnake, La Bamba. Believe it or not, I've never seen that movie fully, but I used to catch it here and there every now and then when it would come on like VH1 or something. And it was cool, man. It had guitars in it, so it caught my attention while I was watching. As for the song, how did he do? Well, let's find out. So funny story, Houston Hill, producer extraordinaire, actually taught me how this line goes. Classic line, classic riff, wonderful song. And the chord progression itself is fairly simple. It's the classic rock and roll 1-4-5. And because we're in C, the 1-4-5 is C, F, G, and it goes a little something like this. Para bailar la bamba, para bailar la bamba, se necesita un poco de gracia. Classic, super simple, super easy. As you can see, my hand is mostly in this area, which Lou Diamond Phillips, who is playing Richie Valens in the movie, does kind of do here and there. And to his credit, when I was watching the movie, I was never taken out of it. I never went, that guy's not really playing. No, the editing is adequate, and he did a good enough job to make me believe that he could play. But with a finer lens, we can see that when he's actually playing the chords, his hands don't line up with the actual song sometimes. There are obvious moments in the video where when he's playing, you can't really see his hands because there are fans who are just going like this with their hands, and the camera is, or rather the hand, those fans' hands are blocking his guitar playing hands because the camera is being shot from behind the fans, if that makes any sense. So with clever camera work like that, it does make it seem like he knows what he's doing and he's playing it accurately, even if sometimes he's not lining up. However, when he starts doing that guitar solo, you see him start flailing. Like, I said it before and I'll say it again, whenever you see, you know, exaggerated movements done by actors, I can't even do it without laughing, it's kind of bullshit. Guitarists don't do that. They like this hand to be steady so that they don't mess up the next note, especially during a solo. So I will give it an A- because it was good on first viewing when I watched it, whenever I watched it. But when you look at it with a magnifying glass, some things just don't add up. A- though, because it's an iconic movie for an iconic artist, and it wasn't bad. Good stuff though. Next movie. George Bush.
Bésame mucho. Each time I cling to your kiss, I hear music divine. Bésame mucho. Hold me, my darling, and say that you'll always be mine.
Frank, I think we better make our move.
You're right, Ed. I'm thinking of something a little more up-tempo, like Guantanamera.
No.
Naked Gun. What is there to be said about that? The 90s were a wild time. Now we have to give a little leeway to this movie because it is obviously a comedy movie. And when it comes to things like comedy and parody, they kind of get a special treatment. I mean, that's why One Punch Man can kill Superman, because he has the power of parody on his side. Trust me on that one. If you disagree, let me know in the comments, though. Of course, in that scene from Naked Gun 2.5, we have Leslie Nielsen playing Bésame Mucho, doing his best attempt at that. Where do we start with that? Well, no. If we're going to judge it with the rubric of, did I watch that scene and did it take me out of the scene because the guitar playing was accurate? No, because the guitar playing was not necessarily integral to the scene. We didn't need to see Leslie Nielsen or Detective Frank Drebin actually play the guitar there. The only reason why it's there is for comedic effect, and on that much, it succeeded. So it's a good scene. Great song, too. But that aside, did the guitar playing match up to the actual song? Sadly, the answer is not even close. Let me show you what I mean. So that's a fairly classic song that's been covered in various different styles, from jazz to bossa nova, and it's a great song. Leslie Nielsen even did a great job singing it, but basically there was no left or right hand motion that's synchronized with the song at all. So for that song, it's supposed to be... That's basically the song. Bésame, bésame mucho. That was not happening in that scene. All we saw his left hand do is stay static in one place. Right hand was kind of doing something like that. The person who was playing the bass wasn't really doing much. He was playing, it seemed like this string, which is the highest string, the lowest, rather, the thinnest string on any bass is always going to be the highest pitch string. But that's not what we're hearing on the track, so that's that. So, good scene. Funny scene. Contributes to the movie really well. Doesn't take me out of it at all. From a guitar playing perspective, not quite there. I'd have to give it an F for funny. Like, really, really funny. Watch the movie if you haven't yet.
Come back home, you're running out on a line. Sometimes feel I'm going out of my mind. Stunned here waiting for anyone to take the time. Spin around, we get further and further away. Smile and wave, ain't got nothing to say. Stunned here waiting for anyone to take the time to change my mind this time. I've been staring at the sun for some time. It gets dark inside, but I don't mind. If you're gone, it's like I'm going blind. I can't get by this time. Spin around, calm down now, 'cause it's all getting clear. Everything you've ever wanted is here. Never needed anyone to change our minds. Don't waste our time. We're fine. I've been staring at the sun for some time. It gets dark inside, but I don't mind. And if you're gone, it's like I'm going blind. I can't get by this time.
Josie and the Pussycats, the feature film. Of course, Josie and the Pussycats come from, believe it or not, the Archie comics. I just found that out myself. How is that scene? Now, the situation in that scene in particular is actually something that a lot of bands on tour go through, particularly bands opening up for another artist. What that means is they are the first band to sort of warm the audience up for the headlining artist. The situation being depicted in that particular clip is the opening band trying to win over the audience. It could go either way, depending on the show, depending on the audience, depending on the band and the song, etc. But in that particular case, Josie and the Pussycats won them over with their awesome charm, great songwriting, awesome performance. That's kind of like a win-win, great job moment. Bands are freaking over the moon when that happens. But how is the guitar playing in that scene? Well, I gotta say the left hand did not line up. There seems to be a theme in today's episode. The left hand did not line up like it should for the chords when they're being played. The right hand, though, props to Rachel Lee Cook, the right hand was very punk rock downstrokes all the time. So when you're playing a fast pop punk kind of guitar part, very Sum 41, Blink 182 kind of style, it's all about the right hand. It's got to be percussive downstrokes, lots and lots of downstrokes. And that's, of course, taken from heavy metal, but here we are. And she did a great job with the right hand. It's very much on point. So she did a great job with that. However, as you can see, the left hand sometimes is not even in the right position and does not necessarily line up. Is that good? Is that bad? I'll let you decide. Did it take you out of the scene? Because it didn't take me out of the scene. I know for a fact that it wasn't such an egregious error that it took me out of the scene. No, it's only with the lens that I'm watching the movie in now that it kind of doesn't fit. But it's only when I'm looking at that scene with this lens that it really doesn't fit. That left hand is kind of not there. I will say, though, I was hella impressed with Tara Reid. Her drumming looked legit. I mean, she was hitting those cymbals when she was switching between the cymbals and all that. She was on point. Rosario Dawson, killing it, as always. And I was actually also so curious about this movie that I wanted to investigate further. I think I might watch the full thing, but I did catch some clips, and it does seem like Rachel Lee Cook, who is playing Josie, she did take lessons. She knows how to play, because there's certain scenes where she looks spot on. Just in that particular scene, the right hand was not quite there. There are a few different ways, though, to her credit, that you can play Josie's guitar part. I played it in this position right here, but you could play it the way I imagine her character was playing it, which is sort of going down the neck. Throwing some distortion, you basically have the chorus of the song there. In some parts, it did seem like she was playing the right chords for that style of playing, which is the more sort of punk rock way of playing it. But there were other moments in that movie where her hands did not line up. And it's such a shame because the song is great, her performance is great. All I'm trying to say is that we as a movie-going and viewing public, we demand proper and true representation of guitar playing in our movies. And we will not settle for less. That is the ballad that I'm running on, Rave 2024. It's just a shame because everything else is great. Just those little inconsistencies, and it's the little things that make or break a movie. So I would have to give that a B-. It's pretty good, but it could have been better. It does look like a good movie. I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I will report back.
Just go out there and act like Keith. Keith, right? Yeah. Richard's mom. I knew that. All right, just go act like Keith. Act like Keith. Act like Keith. Not the behavior. No, just the playing. Now get out there. Your solo's coming.
Don't wanna grow up, I wanna get out. Hey, take me away. I wanna shout out, take me away, 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 away.
Wow. Freaky Friday, Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis, great movie, classic movie, love it, love it, love it. I remember watching that movie, again, because I wasn't watching it with a lens of guitar playing accuracy and thinking it was pretty good. I do remember that scene though. So what you have there is a battle of the bands kind of scene. And I can tell you for a fact, having been in my fair share of battle of the bands, is if there was any band that ever did that, it would never go like that. Of course, we have to give this movie a bit of leeway because it's dealing with the concept of swapping bodies with your parent. So, again, a little bit of fantastical leeway has to be given. I understand, but I'm just saying, during the actual performance of that song, which is, by the way, a banger, right? Take Me Away, I think is the name of the song. It is fantastic. I loved that song. Still do. And great riff, too. Great riff. I love it. I love it. But I will say, if you're ever in a performance and you see this singer singing but looking at the guitar player like, come on, like, what are you doing? And the guitar player's like, and even the second guitar player on stage left is looking at the lead guitar player like, with our sweet lead guitar player keeping their left hand steady and just going, yeah, that's not a good look. You will clearly tell that something's wrong. And the whole performance, the whole time, the other guitar player is carrying the entire song. And I guess her moment or her time to shine is the solo. There's no running away from that because the rhythm guitar player is not going to do it. So when it comes to the realistic look of the rhythm guitar player basically carrying the entire song, A+, hell yeah. So far so good, right? I mean, Lindsay Lohan just basically had to pretend like she's holding the guitar and not knowing how to play and just standing still, all scared and stuff. But the thing that blew me away was that Jamie Lee Curtis actually looked like she was playing the solo. Her hand positioning was in the right place. Funny enough, actually, she looked like she was playing the Steve Lukather signature guitar. But her solo was on point, and she was moving, and her fingers were in the right place, and everything. And that wasn't like an easy solo. So when the solo starts, it starts with a pick scrape. And she did that. The camera pans to her really quickly, but you see her moving away from a pick scrape, which is great. She did it. I'm sorry. I'm just really happy that somebody took the guitar playing seriously in a movie. She did that. She was there. She did that. She hit those notes. And then the cool thing about it is there's double stops, which is basically when you have two notes ringing out over one another. So kind of like a... When she had to go to the solo up here, she was doing it. My heart was touched. It was great. It was great. And then it was like a drought. I didn't know if we were going to get a good, accurate representation of guitar playing. And that was it. And it actually makes sense because she's married to the actor who plays Nigel Tufnell in Spinal Tap, the greatest rock band in the world. He's a lead guitar player. They're married, so his powers naturally went to her as well. That's how marriage works, guys. FYI. It's a fact. Look it up. Fun fact number 2, in that same movie, there's a scene of Lindsay Lohan and the band rehearsing that song, and Lindsay herself, she was playing that guitar part. She was playing the riff, the one that I was playing. So that was great. A+ scene, A+ playing, A+ fake playing, right? Lindsay Lohan, not fake playing, but like fake pretending she doesn't know how to play. And they captured the Battle of the Bands vibe there too. Classic. Love it. Is your mind blown? Because mine was. Wow. Spinal Tap, the legendary band, the documentary, the real life documentary about their life back in the 70s. That was the Nigel Tufnell solo. Let's not kid ourselves. That was an A+ solo. Everything he was doing was real. That was actually Nigel playing. Fantastic stuff. The whole point of that documentary was to display sort of the grandiose, over-the-top, sort of glam nature of the rock scene back in the late 70s, early 80s. And some would say the showboating of gratuitous guitar solos right in the middle of the show was to feed the lead guitar player's ego. To that I say, yeah, so what? I loved it. I highly recommend everybody watch that movie. It's fantastic. That was him playing. Whether you liked it or not, it was legit, and I would rather see realness and honesty than miming. And it absolutely slays me every damn time where he's doing the solo with the violin. Because, okay, that's a play on the whole Jimmy Page playing his guitar with a violin bow. Nigel's parodying Jimmy Page by playing his guitar with an actual violin. And when it's not giving him the sound he likes, he's like, oh, what? And he tunes the violin. Brilliance. Sheer brilliance. And he plays the other guitar on the stand with his foot. Guys, that's like top 5 guitar players of all time status right there. Fantastic. A+. That was real. That was legit. Like it or not, that was all real, baby. On that note, I need a moment to recover because that is the peak. That is the zenith. And I will see you guys next time because I need a breather. Thank you for tuning in, though. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what movie I should review next. Keep guitar playing real in our movies and alive in our hearts. Until then, I am The Rave. You have been awesome. See you next time. Bye-bye.